So John, you just told me to move into the light. How do I move into the light?
By realizing what it is that you actually know the truth of within. So you have your perceptions, you have your thoughts, you have your beliefs, and of everything that you believe is true, what of that do you actually really know is true?
How do I know if it's true? Because the first 6 years of my life, 7 years, I believed in Santa Claus because someone told me that there was such a thing as Santa Claus. I was very afraid of him. And so all the things you thought were true were told to you or taught to you. But now I have to trust you when you tell me this and this is true. What's the difference between Santa Claus, someone telling me believe in Santa Claus, and this?
When you begin to really look at what you actually know the truth of, it's going to be very little. And that's a difficulty for people. To really know the truth of something, it really comes down to a beingness that you recognize within, a kind of beingness that really answers you, a kind of beingness that really meets you. And that takes you out of concepts that you've taken on, concepts of reality or truth that you've adopted. To look at what you actually really know the truth of is going to be really quite little.
Is there anything I know that is the truth? Let's say it like this way. Is there anything that I know that is truth?
If you go into your heart, what you realize in your heart, when you're quieted within your heart, what you realize and you end up knowing the truth of is that it's true for you to open within and soften within. And when you close within and you harden within, that's not true for you, because that goes against what you are in a deeper level. So that creates a split in you.
So could you say that everything that warms up your heart is true and everything that makes it cold is not true?
That's something that's different. When you say something opens or something warms your heart, mm-hmm, or makes your heart cold, then you're talking about something outside of yourself. But within, to respond to what beingness within warms you, then yes.
And it's not a mental thing, it's a feeling thing.
There's feeling to it. It's more so when you're responding to something that you actually know the truth of deeper within, it has you being deeper within, and of course you can feel that. So it has an effect on your interior, where your interior is nurtured. There's a wholesomeness that satisfies on a deeper level. It may not satisfy your thinking or your understanding, but it has an immediate effect of meeting you within.
And also bringing up all pain, I presume. Yes. And that could easily be translated as a depression, or I feel depressed and I have to quit this rubbish. It makes me feel sad. Do I have to go through this or just let it happen?
It's neither that you have to go through it or let it happen. It's that you're able to be something deeper within than what the depression is. And when you realize that, then you can be that in the midst of the depression. As soon as you're being something in the midst of the depression that is not what the depression is, then the depression doesn't have the effect on you that it used to have, because you're coming from something that's other than what that is.
So you could say, like in the midst of the storm, it's quiet, in the eye of the storm. So feeling depressed, feeling lonely, that's something that comes up sometimes. How can I get in the center of feeling lonely?
When you're feeling lonely, then there's a need to have something, perceiving that you need deeper company, more company, or a certain kind of company that you're not having. When you move deeper within, then immediately there's a core kind of satisfaction. When that core satisfaction is there, then that takes you out of the need of something you're perceiving that needed to be there outside of you.
So, don't you need anything from the world anymore?
You need something from outside of you, such as food. For your body to be healthy, you need to eat.
Fresh air.
Yes.
But
you don't need a healthy body for you, for instance, to be at profound peace within. So then someone who, if you find out that you have cancer and you're dying and you have very little time left to live, as soon as you drop to a deeper level within, then you become free of what it is you perceive you're needing of living longer. So then there's a restedness within, a profound peace within, and then living or dying isn't what first affects you anymore. That you're in touch with something much deeper within.
And how does it work when someone in your surroundings is facing cancer, or how can you? It brings sorrow. Doesn't bring peace.
Well, it can bring peace being with someone who is having cancer. Is if your satisfaction within is simply meeting the other person, then you're not meeting cancer, you're meeting what's really there within. And that, of course, affects the other person, because that other person is really being seen, instead of being perceived or seen as someone who's a victim to cancer.
So does the labeling stop of putting post-it notes on someone? He's a man, he's a patient, you strip it down to the essence.
All of the labels are still there, but they belong only on the level that the labels appeal to, and that there's deeper within than what those levels are. So all of the levels exist at the same time. So then it's seeing the labels, seeing the level that's deeper than that, seeing what satisfies that level, seeing the level that's even deeper from what that is, until there's a relationship with the essence of a person in the midst of everything else that is there also.
Could you call that love?
Yes.
Love, being, God, all the words for that unnameable thing, which isn't a thing.
Love is more immediate. To call it something like God is too big of a concept. That takes a person into thinking. Thinking about something that they don't necessarily even know the truth of.
How do you call it?
Just on an experiential level, deeper within, it would be love.
Yeah.
The love is immediate. As soon as you open within and soften within, the result is that love moves.
And it's not something you can get out of another person, or is it something that can be shared or only can be recognized?
Recognized. If you're recognizing it and knowing it and you're in it, then of course you're also sharing in it. If you're in it, you can give it. If you're not in it, you're not able to give it. You can only give what you're in.
And does that love need the world to appear?
No. It's already satisfied from within. So there's a response to the same thing that's outside of yourself. When you're coming from what love is, then you also see love in others, even if they're covering it up.
So you can see love inside of let's say a murderer or a thief.
It's there.
Yeah. But do they know their love?
For some people, it's difficult for them to find it or reach it. But as soon as it's touched within them, then they see it, they know it.
So the song "Love Is All You Need," "Love Is All You Need," is a miss. How do you call it? They got it wrong. The Beatles, "Love Is All You Need." All you need is love. All you are is love.
Well, it depends on what your understanding is of that.
But is it a needing love, if I understand you right?
No.
No, because love is already there.
Yes.
So all love is all you can give? Or love
If that's what you're coming from, love doesn't, in itself, it doesn't need to be loved, and it's not needing to love. It's just a natural beingness that comes from you. You, whatever it is you're coming from, that's what you'll be giving to people.
So when you're hateful, all you give is hate.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're sad, all you give is sadness. It's a starting point where you come from.
It is.
Yeah. Okay. I hope to see you again when you're in Amsterdam or maybe Germany or Belgium. And do I have to bring anything when I visit your meetings? Maybe a bottle of water, a lot of tissues,
No.
a nice pillow to sit on?
Nothing really.
No. It's at Roos here in Amsterdam, the meetings, or just the opening evening?
Just the opening evening.
And the rest of the talks is in... Hoe zeg je dat? Balgebouw. Toch?
Balgebouw, ja.
You could say it in English, the ball building.
Okay.
That sounds a little bit strange. Okay, thanks again and have a nice time in Amsterdam.
Okay, thank you.